Hey everyone, it's Sam here, and today I'm going to show you how I've made this pop-up box card. Now I made this quite a while ago. I've been working through a pile of cards I've been promising to make for YouTube videos. This is very, very sweet. This folds down to 4x8, so it's like a slimline DL size. You don't need any dies to make this one, apart from something maybe to cut your aperture, but you could easily draw around something and cut it out. So it is really good if you've not got many supplies at all. You've got all your space there for obviously a nice sentiment, and then you've got plenty of room on the back to write your message. I'm going to make a pumpkin patch themed card today, so let's get started. So this is the Pumpkin Spice stamp set, and it's issue 150 of Creative Stamping Magazine. And then for my sentiment inside, I'm using, this is my Secret Messages sentiment set. I just wanted to say, which is the top one there, and then hello. And I've already got that stamped there. And then I've used the grass die border for the grass effect in the card. And then you can use any square, so you don't need dies to make the card. But if you do want to cut that aperture with a die, I've used these ones here, but you could easily cut that by hand or draw around something as well. Okay, so you want to cut yourself one piece of 8x4, and along the 8-inch side you're going to score at 4 inches, and then fold that one in half. And then you want a piece of 9x4, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch, 4.5, and 8.5. And you'll see what I've done with this one here is I just put some tape down either side, and then I inked it up, because this is going to be the back of the box, the little pop-up box. This might be a pattern paper, you might just want to stamp a sentiment on there, but that left side there is what will be the back of the box. And then this is the main base that we're going to stick it all to, so this is 8x4. Then for the little dividers, now I've done 8, but you might want to do 4 and stick them at every 1 inch. I'm going to stick mine at every 1/2 inch, which is why I've got the 8 pieces here. And you'll see I've already attached the grass trim onto the front. So to be honest, this is optional. So 8 if you want to do it exactly like me, but you might only want to have a couple. Depends what you're having popping up and what your scene is. But these pieces are 1/2 inch by 5. Now you might want to make them thicker as well. It's entirely up to you, but you do want that 5-inch width, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch and at 4.5. And they're the little tabs to attach it inside. I'm just going to run the glue just down there, and then just stick that in between the two folds like so. And then fold those around. Okay, so prepare all those pieces. This one here, which has got your tabs either end, is going to come up. That's going to be one side, that's the back. So now we need to do the front and the other side. So that's this piece here, that 8x4, so just the 2 squares. That's the one where you want to cut your aperture onto the right hand side. So I've got this die here. This one is 3x3, so something around that size. So I'm just going to take that down in place and run it through my machine. Okay, so that's all cut out. Then what I did is I cut a piece of gold mirrored card to 3.5, and then I cut the same frame. So I've got this tiny little border, and I'm going to stick that over the top. Just helps frame everything and draw the eye into the middle there. Okay, now depending on how big you've done your aperture, this side here is just under 1/2 inch. Now this has to stick underneath, and you see I'm going to see a little bit of that there. So what I'm going to do while I remember is just cut a nice chunk off of that. So there's still plenty for me to stick it behind, but you're just not going to see. There we go, that's much better. So next we want to stick this one onto the side. I'm going to run my glue down here, and then just stick that one down. Lay it down this way, just so it's a bit easier to line. So again, you can see now how that's all coming together. Next I want to start sticking all of these pieces in here. So starting from the back, and take, in fact, I just thought I might flip mine around so it's a bit neater that way. So it's stuck behind instead. Yeah, I'm going to flip mine around. So you're going to add your glue onto the tab, and the first one I'm going to stick right up to the fold here. It's flush with the bottom of the card here itself. See the fold? You're going to fold it right over, and make sure it's nice and straight with the bottom. By doing it this way, you're ensuring that it's all going to fold flat when you go to put it in your envelope, and that these are all straight as well. It's very easy to stick these in a little bit wonky. So now bring that one up, and you can fold it back that way. And that's our first little section. So then take the next one, add your glue, and now what we want to do is line it up to this, to the last one that you stuck down. So just pop it next to it there and then fold it back over. And again, keep everything straight. Now you've got your next one. So by doing it this way, they're all perfectly spaced. And then again, the next one, and you're just going to repeat this with all of them till they're all stuck down. Now you may be using acetate, you might have things flying in here, so you could have your acetate at all different heights. They don't have to all run along the bottom. You might have clouds in the sky and then things coming down. They can be wherever you want. Okay, and then the last one, you should have the room to fit that one in. As long as each one is right next to the other, then they will all fit in perfectly. So now when I bring this around, you see all of these are all equally spaced by 1/2 inch. Like I said, if you're just adding 4, then you'd have 1 inch gap. You might want to have all of them at the back and then more space at the front. Again, there's no rules with this. You can stick them wherever you want. So now all of these tabs will all line up perfectly next to each other. So all you need to do is add your glue onto each one. And then you're going to fold this one, make sure they're all lined up, fold this one right over. Just hold that there for a minute. Okay, once you're happy that that's secure, carefully bring it up and you can fold it back the other way and then back again. Once that's stuck down, you'll see how cool is that going to look as a pumpkin patch. That looks really, really cool. It's so effective. So what I'm going to do next is decorate inside. So I'm actually going to open this up, and it's just a bit easier to get your hands in and stick everything down. So these are all the elements. So just lots of pumpkins. I've got some of the toadstools there as well, but I'm going to have the bigger ones towards the back. I've got a few leaves here as well, but it's all about that pumpkin patch. So I'm going to stick those all in and see there how they look, just popping up, some a little bit higher than the other. But like I said, I'll have the bigger ones towards the back and then mix in the little toadstools. I've already stamped and done my background here. These ones, I'll go through the sizes in a minute, but for the colours, because I've done that one there, these are the ones that I've pulled. So I used 5 brick half pumpkin at the top here, and at the bottom it was peeled paint or forest moss. I know I've mixed them with the walnut stain and then a little bit of black soot, and you can see you get that really nice detail, but these are going to go on the sides and all in this part in a minute. So I'll go through those in a moment, but I'm going to stick all the detail down first. Okay, so I think I'm done with everything inside. So if I just bring it up there, how cute is that? This is so sweet. I'm really enjoying this. Then I'm going to add my glue all down the tab. Okay, and then just sit that over the top. And if you pinch it and lay it all flat, again, do it when it's flat because you want to make sure that's how it's going to go in the envelope and it all lines up. There we go. So you could, if you want, that could be your card. Decorate the sides there. You've got your space on the back for your message. You know, that's a nice little box card. But adding it onto here, it just gives you that extra space to have decoration. And I just think it just looks really quite sweet. So I'm going to I'm going to use the construction glue. I'm going to just cover the back piece. I've used a heavyweight 300 GSM white smooth, but you could easily use just your normal 220, 230 GSM, because you're going to add mats and layers to this, and once you stick it onto your base, that's all going to, you know, add that strength. So I'm popping mine on the left side, but you could easily stick it on the right if you wanted to. Just again, make sure that all lines up, bring it that way, and then I know it's flush with the bottom. So that will fold flat all within that size, and then that will come up. So then I've got these pieces here. So this one is going to go here, and this is 3 3/4 squared, and then the white is 3 1/2 squared. So that one's going to go there, and then these ones are just the 3 3/4 squared, and that's the ones that I've added the same scene. So they're going to go either side. I mean, you could decorate inside these sides as well if you want, but I didn't bother. And then you can see I've just added the same grass, a few of the extra pumpkins there, and then I think on the front here with these leftovers, I'm going to add maybe another few little bits like so. I've got some of the leaves here as well, and just create that scene kind of coming out of the frame. So there is the finished card. I'm so pleased with this. I think it looks wonderful, whether you're looking at it down this way or right the way through the front there. It's just so cute, and it all folds down. You could actually, just the first time I folded it that way and looked at it, you could have a nice little message there as well, because that would still look quite nice. So I might try and stamp something in there. We'll see. I might just put the pumpkin patch or something, would be quite nice there, we'll see. But yeah, really nice. Like I said, all the space on the back there to write your message. Very fun. And again, just bring back in that one there, so you can see how that looks next to it. I think they're very cute. I'm getting a really nice selection of cards now using this stamp set. Just bring in these ones here. So we've got this lovely floating hammock card. We've got the frame, little pop-up frame there. Love the bright colours. And then we've got this fun little kinetic one with the move-in wheelbarrow there with the pumpkins in. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial from me today, and just another way of using the stamps in this stamp set. All of these cards you'll be able to find in the playlist coming up now, and I will have the products that I've used linked in the description box below. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.